This is Midway Haunted House. I'm going to try to play this one-handed with my phone. So I don't know how this is going to go, but we're gonna give it a try. You can see we all were set up there fine. We got back here. I'll try to keep the camera on the best I can. Oh! I don't know if you heard that. There you go, you see him moving faster. Now, if you could hear it, you might not be able to. There's a bad part in the 8-track player. That causes the music to go off, or the background sound to quit playing. Maybe we can get lucky here. The reason the camera shakes in that fire is because the recoil works. Oh, I got a cat. That's a lucky shot. And my game is over. Now you'll notice up here, I got 7,100 points. And that's the main issue with this game, is that the scoring is off. To make that clear. Scoring is off. Shots are fine, scoring off. Let's turn this lights on over here. We'll do a quick walkthrough of it. Back glass is spidering, some flaking up here, as you can see, around the score windows. Rest of the back glass is great. Gun's in decent shape. You got a crack in the stylus. You have a crack in the stock. The gun is still solid. You can see it shake again. The recoil works good. So pinball coil in there that kicks back on you when you shoot. The inside's nice and clean. The targeting, the aiming, whatever you want to call it, the sighting is in great shape. I just fixed it this afternoon. Whenever you move one of these things, you always have to adjust that. That's the nature of the beast with these. You jar it too much, you move it around too much, and the scoring kind of go off. 8-track player, about 95% of the time, the background plays. The monsters is very hard to hear. The witch and the cats, when you hit them, you could hear. That might be an issue with the little preamp on the back there. See that little circuit board in the back of the 8-track player, but it does work. All right, it functions, it works. You could hear the background 95% of the time. I think there might be a couple bad spots in the tracks on the 8-track tape. I did have to fix the 8-track tape. Before it was playing nothing, but I put new pads in it, and now it's working a lot better. So the 8-track player and the tape do work 95% of the time. If you can fix 8-tracks, maybe you'll do a better job than I did. Coin door doesn't close all the way. It's a little bent. It's a little rusty. Original coin door. The cabinet itself, seen better days. Still solid. Doesn't look like it took any water, but looks like it's definitely been banged around. Bottom here has a hole. Looks like somebody kicked it. They got mad at the witch. I do have the panel for that. That's what you have to take off to work on the the aiming, or to make working on the aiming a lot easier than reaching through the coin door. Again, a lot of paint loss on the cabinet. You can see it. The bottom is solid. I put wheels on it to make it easier to move around. This thing is pretty heavy. I don't know if it's much heavier than a normal arcade cabinet, because I got plenty of those, but it is heavy. Corners are messed up, as you can see. Pretty much like that on the other side as well. I'm not going to take video of the other side, unless somebody really wants me to. I will. Here's the back. You saw it playing and working. Again, the shock counter works fine. That's the infamous Midway score motor. The 2 transfer cams are in solid shape. The motor works. However, the scoring is off. Something needs to be adjusted up here. That's basically the gist of it. I've done that before. I've taken it apart and cleaned it with Midway EM games. Not many. I've done it once, and it's a royal pain in the ass. So I really didn't feel the need to do it here. There's your amplifier board. That might help with some of the sound issues if it's recapped. I don't have the caps. This is not recapped here. Just never did it. Motor speed board. Here's all your relays. The brains of the operation. Have a broken fuse holder here. Still makes contact. Sometimes your stop top score relay sticks on and buzzes. Right there. It goes away when you start a new game. Just annoying. All your other relays. Here's your operator adjustments. It says dance. Dance in this game means how much the cat and the witch go back and forth. Here's your reset bank. Down here, these wires right here, new connections for the monster motor. They weren't making good connection, intermittent contact with the Jones plug. So even after cleaning the Jones plug, it still wasn't working out. So I bypassed it and put removable spade connectors. Here's your monster motor. Good shape, nice and clean. Here's your witch and cat carriage down here. This guy looks like he was on his way up. We stopped the game. The issue with these and all the haunted houses is basically this operates on a ribbon cable, which connects it to the Molex plugs here and goes up to the brains of the operation up there. Now this thing drags back and forth as this carriage here goes back and forth, and it messes up the wires. So when I got this, I had to do a lot of fixing on those wires down there. A lot of broken connections. They've been soldered, they've been shrink wrapped, or excuse me, heat shrink tubinged, if that's even a word, tubinged, and now they're all connected. Problem is, and even with ones that have original ribbon cables, is it makes it very hard for this carriage to go back to the left. Okay, which would be the right as far as the player is concerned. So I guess they were having that problem even beforehand. I didn't do this. They took the left limit and they extended it. So when this switch hits this, it goes back the other way. When you first start playing, being that the motors are all on low power, everything's going slow, sometimes this carriage can stick a little bit. Probably just needs to be greased or adjusted. I don't know. I really haven't played with it much. So, when you do shoot the gun, when you are shooting at other targets, this will free up and it will go the other direction. When it starts going fast, when your score builds up, this thing will really start moving and it's fine. So only at the very beginning of the game when it's cold does it kind of stick and stay in place, but it unsticks itself and it starts to go. So pretty much that's all about that. All the connections down here are good. You have some places where the insulation is pulled back from the wires. Somebody wrapped a little bit of electrical tape around there. That could probably use some attention. I'm not going to bother with it. Again, they're just regular Molex. They're amp connectors, Molex connectors. You could repin them. They're either 84s or 93s. Not a big deal. If you don't want to deal with the cloth insulation wire, cut it back a little bit, put a piece of regular insulation, heat shrink tubing on one side, a pin on the other.